Top of the morning, everyone. Welcome to Generation 10, your comedy podcast. I can't keep it up. I'm sorry.
It's not the worst accent you've ever used. So,
what is the worst accent I've ever used?
I mean, there are a lot. There are a lot that are pretty horrible. German, French, they're no.
Okay, anyway, I'm Atlas. That's Dino, the millennial and Gen Xer, respectively. Our guest today is Elyza Halpern. How are you?
Guten Tag, welcome. I'm good. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yes. We're recording this on St. Paddy's 2024. Did you guys do anything, or are you doing anything for the holiday?
I have a show that's happening tonight, but we got all our drinking done yesterday.
Nice.
We drank a lot. Yeah. What about you, Elyza?
So I'm going to a Jaws viewing party today that's also become a joint Jaws viewing and St. Patrick's Day party because of the day it falls on. So we're going to have like ocean themed stuff. We're going to have maybe green beer. We'll see.
I mean, that works. That
sounds pretty great, to be honest. That's yeah. I went to my in-laws' place last night and they did like a poker night. So it was me, my parents-in-law, my brother-in-law, his wife, and then their son, who was 8 years old. And so, yeah, it was pretty...
the 8-year-old won the poker game.
Oh, he did. I don't want to show the picture because I don't want to like dox my nephew. But there's a picture of him afterward where he's like this with his like winnings of all the chips because he's an aggressive bettor, and he's like, I got one fat stack of cabbage, and I'm like, that's okay, all right.
Yeah, bro, you know what, we used to play poker on New Year's. That's what we would do as a family. And we would just pick all the change you've collected over the course of the year. Is we would bring it all together and we'd all start betting against each other. That's
pretty interesting.
Yeah. Because that's in Greece, like that was one of the days. There's that and another religious day that the cops would allow you to gamble and stuff. So nobody would give a shit. So it's like someone was like, it's the one day, and then we would shenanigans. So
I love the idea of them being like, it's a new year, new me. Now go into debt immediately.
100%. That's absolutely accurate. That's
I think that's like a lot more interesting than like my family didn't really do St. Patrick's Day stuff aside from like wear green or you'll get pinched, you know.
I like we were talking about this in Canada. That much change can be a lot of money. That is, especially if you have like American quarters. I'm stockpiling them here.
What's the what's the exchange rate on?
I think it's like 1.4 right now. So it's like I have to spend $1.40 to get an American dollar. So
okay,
yeah, but
interesting.
I had some left over. Like I stockpile American cash whenever I have the opportunity. So just because I'm like even now we're going to Florida in a couple of weeks to see my mom. Mm-hmm. So I'm like I just took whatever cash I had and I'm like, all right, I'll just use this in Cleveland. So and it's usually okay, but now I'm just like, oh my god! Like yesterday, this is we went out. We did an episode of Hammer and Cheese. So I made cornbread, and it was like. Then we ate. Cole and I finished an entire bottle of vodka, and then also an entire bottle of Irish cream, which
you guys are too old for this.
Hey, we drank the Irish cream mixed with coffee, and we started drinking that at like 2:00 in the morning. So.
Oh my god!
Both of us are like, we felt it this morning. We woke up at around noon, and we're both like, okay, well, we need breakfast. I had biscuits and gravy, bro. It was great. But yeah, I'm all out St. Paddy's Day. Today I have a show, and I'm like, I'm not drinking today again. I'm good. I'm just gonna watch everyone else get drunk.
I had some Irish cream on top of mint chip ice cream. It was good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I like St. Paddy's Day, but at the same time, I would never go to a parade. Like, And people were like, you should Canada's poor. Thanks, Cole.
Canada's poor. He's like a room away from you too, so he can just
he came out, turned on all the lights, and then went back in his room. I'm like, nice, thank you.
Oh my god. Have you guys ever been to like the parade or a parade for?
No.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
I'm from the Annapolis area, so they do like a whole street festival thing.
Yeah.
In Annapolis, the main religion is alcoholism. So
Top tier.
Yeah.
it's like in Annapolis, and my friend was one of the little kids doing like Irish step dancing on the street, just watching people get into bar fights.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Navy there too, so it's all militaristic. It's a wild place.
One of my friends, he is a math teacher at the U.S. Naval Academy. So, yeah.
Whoa, we may know people in common. That's crazy.
We might, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know a Matt Barber?
Wait, I probably know another barber.
Okay, he's like a big guy. He's got a beard like me. He's got curly hair, kind of quiet.
Cool. I don't think I know him, but
okay,
we may have mutual connections from back in the DMV.
That's pretty funny.
That's wild.
Back in the DMV.
Yeah.
I'm writing down potential episode titles as they happen now, instead of saying that's the episode title and then forgetting to do it. So the main religion is alcoholism. Probably going to be that. We'll see.
I mean, it's a popular one. There's no question. That's
yeah. A lot of Christian cults and then alcoholism.
I mean, that's definitely the order. We're like, well, we're Christian, but also we serve the god of alcohol. It's just it seems totally fair.
Hey, if Martin Luther can enjoy beer, why can't the rest of us, right?
I mean, it's only reasonable, right? We're not animals. We gotta enjoy. I just don't understand why
that's the 15th point on the church door.
Oh, I don't know. Even we were driving around earlier and we just kept on seeing like guys in like hoodies and shorts, because it actually snowed here earlier today. Okay. Oh yeah. Which I'm like, oh, this is when I came here on Wednesday and I had worn like extra layers and like a heat tech layer, and I got off the bus and I was like, oh my god, I'm so hot. And then it proceeded to get freezing cold every day, and then we had snow. I'm like, that's great. It's St. Paddy's
Where are
Day.
you right now, Dino?
Cleveland. I'm from Toronto. So I took a bus, which I highly recommend. Don't take the bus, people.
Don't take the bus.
This is the second time I've taken the bus, and both times it was horrific. But whatever. It's just,
what was so bad about the bus?
It's more so it's just so long. So going home, I stop in Buffalo and then go to Toronto. But coming here, it always goes via Detroit, which means like from my house to get to Windsor is like 5 hours, and then Detroit is like ridiculously dodgy. Like the bus station has nothing. Like there are 4 vending machines, which are super sketchy, and then like just empty area around it, and you're like, oh, this is where zombie apocalypses start. Like this type of, just.
I just love the idea of like going up to a vending machine and it has things that aren't even exist anymore. You're like, they have Mr. Pibb in here? What, like?
Oh, Mr. Pibb is alive and well.
Really? I see Pibb extra from time to time. I've never seen like regular Mr. Pibb anywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's you gotta hunt it
cola?
down.
What the fuck,
bro? That's yeah. So
I think in theory, taking the bus doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world, but I can sort of get like how disgusting it probably is. And
it's more so like you can't move, and then you're stuck in traffic, and then like if you get a bus driver who's like gas brake, and in traffic, you're like, bro, stop it. And the one that I had from Detroit to Cleveland, people kept on like standing up to ask him questions, and he would pull over the bus to be like, go sit down. He wouldn't answer the questions, just tell them to go sit down, and then he would sit back down and drive away. And you're like,
oh my god,
why not ask it? And he was like, no, there's no questions. Go sit down. You're like, okay.
Don't make me tap the sign.
Yeah, it's 100%. There are guys like Dino
on the bus.
Horrible. I concur. Yeah. The first leg, which was 5 hours, wasn't bad. The bus driver, the stop I went on was like 3 people, and then we went down to Union Station in Toronto and picked up like another 40 people. Aww. So he was like, listen, this seat in the back doesn't have anybody booked because it's right beside the bathroom. He goes, but you'll be able to put your legs up and sleep. And I'm like, I'm going to go sit there. And I just went to the back and just, all right. So
one of the best feelings of getting on a plane is you get there and they're like, okay, the doors are closing and the seat next to you is empty. And you're like, yes.
Oh yeah.
Finally.
Oh yeah. That is especially like the weird part is now, so Elyza, I've lost 200 and actually, so as of yesterday, I weighed in here and I weighed 247 pounds, which I'm like, all right, I'm losing weight. So I was 500 pounds. So I've lost about 250 pounds.
Congratulations.
So like, thank you. It's horrible. But it's like better for my health than bullshit. And like I used to tell a joke where I'm like, I love to travel, but people who sit beside me on airplanes hate that I travel. And now people are like, I'll sit beside you. I'm like, oh, please don't. I'm like, feel like I should throw elbows every once in a while. I'm like, I got like arm. Yeah, I'm like, I have arm Tourette's. It's just gonna lash out all of a sudden. Don't Yeah. What's up, Titanium? How you doing, buddy?
What's Elyza, when you fly, do you prefer the window or the aisle?
I tend to prefer the aisle because I'm a nervous flyer. I know that I drive in LA and that's statistically way more dangerous. But I'm just a nervous flyer and I'm like, I want to be able to like climb over people to get to that emergency exit.
Absolutely.
Like I want to be able to run down that aisle if shit goes down.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
The like all the news about Boeing where like they're just letting their planes deteriorate. Have you heard about that?
Oh, yes. As a nervous flyer, like I used to tell myself, it's the safest form of travel. Nothing ever goes. Like these planes are so tested and so regulated, and then I find this out.
It's
I prefer flyer. Flying is unnatural.
Flying is 100%.
Yes. Look, if Hayao Miyazaki puts it in literally every one of his movies, is it really all that natural?
I mean, right?
It's magic. Listen, people give Spirit Airlines. This is not an ad for Spirit Airlines. Like, it does suck, and I only fly it because it's like the cheapest option, especially to get back to Baltimore and stuff. Yeah. But they don't use the 737s.
Yeah.
They're an Airbus company.
I mean, hey, that's a point.
I would love for Spirit Airlines to suddenly become like the like fancy one because the planes don't fall apart in the sky.
All the executives that usually fly like Delta are like, oh my god, what is this? These plebeians.
Put me on Spirit. Yeah.
Your options are Emirates or Spirit. You're like, maybe Spirit. I think. Yeah. That's the
because it's like every other flight company uses Boeing planes, right, or something like that.
A lot of them do. A lot of the major ones.
Those are the two, right? It's Airbus or Boeing. And if it's not that, you're like, you might have to pedal. Like, don't do that. It's not,
There's holding a bingo card now. Like, which part of the plane is going to fall off during the flight?
Well, this is okay. But like, so I have a friend who's a pilot in Asia and like she just got a job for Cathay Pacific now. And so she's going to be flying more to Canada and back to Asia. And she was saying like, there are a lot of problems you can have on a plane that make it totally like, yeah, those need to be fixed, but you'll fly. And you're kind of going, don't tell me that shit. I don't want to know that. You're not helping, but then you're like, at the same time, I'm like, I have the check engine light on my car has been on for like 3 years. And I'm like, it's one sensor. It's not, the car's fine, but I'm like, just cover that with some tape, just a little, that's fine. I don't have to see it. It's, I guess prepare planes to do the same thing.
Spirit Airlines is like being strapped in one of those foldable lawn chairs, but in the sky at 300 miles per hour, or in Canadian terms, 600 kilomooses per second.
Absolutely.
He's really in the next room. Chairs. Don't kick his ass.
I mean, I might have to beat up the whole family. I don't know. It's fine. Spirit Airlines, it doesn't matter where you start, but you'll end at Spirit. I mean.
Oh, my God.
That's the thing. Like I too, Elyza, will choose the aisle seat just because I'm like, you'll get a little bit. I can sneak my leg out a little bit and get some extra room.
Yeah.
I kind of laugh because so Kyle, who's a personal friend, is taller than me, and I'm 6'2", 6'3", so I'm like I just fit everywhere, like barely.
Yeah.
He's 6'6", and I'm like, oh, you can't do shit.
Oh.
Like he gets in my Cadillac and he's like, oh, I can't fit anywhere. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like,
it's like that TikTok video where they're like, you got to fold the baby to put him in the car seat. Just do that with Kyle. Fold him in half.
I mean, he is
bad. Yeah. I mean, I'm 5'3", so in terms of leg room, I've always been chilling. I've seen the struggles of tall folk, though.
But you have a wonderful collection of step ladders at home, I assume, right?
Oh, I think we should be offered government issued step stools.
Okay, listen, that's fair, but also too, like my wife. So I tell people, I'm like, so my wife and her parents, we live all together, and I'm like, there's nobody in my household I can't wear as a backpack. But if she gets mad at me, I just start grabbing important things and putting them on high shelves, like all over the house. And I'm like, and then I hide the ladder.
Yeah, I never do that with my wife. She's 5'2". I am often the get things off high shelves.
Yeah, we know how to climb. We can adapt.
Yeah. But you can't ask short people, like, hey, can you pick that up? It's a long way for me to bend over. They're like, no, that's unfair. You're like, okay, but I have to get all the tall stuff. It's like, we got to work together on this.
Double standard.
I am very pliable. I mean, it's true, right?
Is the same colors as a short bus? Twinkie Dink? I think not. I mean, like, isn't that just any school bus is yellow? Like, that's the.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a window seat guy myself because, like, I'll usually wear like a hoodie or something, and then I can fold it up as a pillow, and then.
That's a good idea.
But I'm also that guy who like closes the shade until we're beginning our descent into whatever place. Like close the shade, and then there's the guy next to you. Hey, can you open the window? My toddler wants. No, fuck you. I'm going to sleep. Leave me alone.
Okay, the amount of people when it's like the lights are off, and then they're like, "I want to read." You're like, "Go to sleep. Go to sleep. You're not reading now. You can read afterward. Okay, when all the lights are on, there's food service. You can read then. Okay, you don't get to read when everyone's trying to sleep. You jerk.
Actually, aren't the lights like angleable? You can just go, stick it in whatever direction.
Maybe not on Spirit. It's just like a bit like a fluorescent light, like you had in public.
Just like a crappy desk lamp.
It flickers a little bit. You're like, is someone getting a call? It's flickering. I don't know what's happening.
Spirit Airlines is like the 1940s noir of airlines, right? You go up there, the pilot smoking a cigarette. The bride told me she wanted to go to Buffalo. We're going to have a stop in Detroit first.
It's a Rust Belt only airline. That's what they pivot to.
Oh, God. I remember back in the day when we would fly, my dad wouldn't use certain airlines. He's like, no, they have a smoking section. We're not using that airplane. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, it's in the back. You're like, it's a closed vessel. You don't.
Yeah. It's a peeing section in a pool. It doesn't matter.
I mean.
Speaking of a generational podcast, I genuinely didn't know they had smoking sections on airlines. I thought it was like you could smoke on airlines, and then one day some asshole almost lit the plane on fire, and they all banned it.
No, a lot of assholes almost light the planes on fire for many years, and then it was you're like, well, you can go in the back where it's loud. You can sit in the back, not in the front, and you're just like. That doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, we're in a tube.
Yeah, we're in a tube in the sky, and it's sealed. It's high pressure. Yeah. They're like, well, we have filters. I'm like, when was the last time filters been cleaned? Oh, really? Never? You're like, also, none of these work. You're like, okay, great. Let me just turn on the light so I can read. Thanks. It's perfect.
Yeah. The guy who mentions the filters, you're like, do you clean out the lint filter in your dryer? The what? Like...
Spirit Airlines is the Tubi of air travel, Cole Clayton says.
Yeah, that's fair. That is, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, there was a time when you could charter a plane and then sell all the tickets, right? Like, that happened a lot for Greece and stuff. And it would be a way, like, if you had the capital, you could do that. And then, because it was like, if you would do it in June, July, and August, you're like, people are constantly traveling to Greece because it's beautiful, right? So, but like now there's like, you get on and you're just like, what is happening in these planes? Like, it's just too much. Yeah.
But there's also the thing where it's like, ladies and gentlemen, we've accidentally sold too many tickets somehow. Would some people be willing to give up their... How does that work exactly?
Okay.
I missed the smoking sections in submarines. That's what happened to the guys in the carbon fiber one from last year. Yeah.
See, the weird part is, like, we went to Greece once and there was a lady who was overbooked. So she sat, like, we were in the emergency exit section, and across from us it was the stewardess's seat, and that seat, like, it unfolds and raises up. But back then, like, they only had like one TV like every 10 rows, and it was like 10 by 10, like it wasn't a big TV, and her seat would just go up. Like, as soon as she would open up the seat, it would block the TV. And my dad's like, hey, you can't, like, I can't see the TV for like the whole time, like, you got to move. She's like, well, this is my seat. And my dad's like, oh, the fuck it isn't. I paid extra for legroom for this asshole, which was me. And he's like, I'm not gonna not be able to see TV. Okay, it's a 13-hour flight. He's like, nope, you can go somewhere else. I'm not. Nope, absolutely not. But I'm the guy.
Submarines.
I'm the guy who learns of the lint trap after the dryer is broken.
You like pull it out and it's like a thick blanket.
It's a new, my old sweater. You're like, no, it's just the lint has accumulated and bonded into an entire piece of clothing. Yeah, that's fair.
What was the thing that, like, you were most surprised by after moving out of your parents' place for the first time?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think the expense of groceries, which now is like heinous, but at the same time, you're like,
yeah.
You're like, oh, I understand why people, like, because I would always ask my parents for like weird shit and be like, I want to try bologna. My mom's like, why? That's horrible. But I'm like, I'm a kid. Other people have bologna. I want to try it. And I'm like, this is gross. She's like, yeah, that's why I don't buy it. And then I go to the grocery store and you're going, oh, I like mortadella. And you're like, oh, bologna is like a third of the price. Maybe I do like bologna. I don't, that's, I'm okay with that.
I remember the weird gel in the spaces between bologna, like you'd have it and there were the holes and there was like this weird like jello like substance in between. Bologna was weird, man.
It was in the Subway cold cuts at one point too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was before or after Jared Gate.
I mean, probably during. Let's be honest. Yeah.
When was Jared Gate? Like 2014 or something like that, or was that a little earlier?
That's probably a good question.
When was Jared outed for...
He lied about the sandwiches. That's what he did.
Pedophile. Let's see.
Thanks, Titanium. Bologna is not proper spelling, for the record. You can't change my mind.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Bologna.
Yeah, it's 100% accurate.
It's Italian.
2015.
Calm down. It's Italian.
Bro, there's a meme where a lady went to a grocery store and she's like, is that organic ham? And the guy's like, listen, there is nothing organic about ham, okay? Like, this is a block with... Like, it doesn't come like this, lady. This is ground up everything, okay? Yeah. From the front to the back, and then made into a square, tube. It's not. And she's like, oh, I only eat organic. I'm like, then you don't have this. So.
Yeah, my mom's one of those people that, is it organic? My sister and I always joke about putting that on her tombstone when she dies.
Don't Google pedos. Also a good point.
I know, the TSA agent is like, what is he doing? So apparently the first accusations came out in 2007, and he was convicted in 2015.
Oh,
so
I mean,
yeah, God. and I like how that coincided with the fall of the $5 footlong. Like, Jared goes to jail. We can't buy Subway for $5 anymore.
I mean, yeah, that's well, they had to pay his legal fees, so that seems
well, because in the 90s, like, Subway was like the healthy thing, right?
Oh, but then it was shortly after that too that Europe was like, yeah, that's not bread. You have to call it cake. Like, what? They're like, it's just too much sugar. It's cake. That's cake. you're serving a sandwich on cake, which I'm like, I'm down to have a sandwich made out of cake. Like I'm okay with it.
My 500-pound self is like, you say that like it's a bad thing. Like,
I'm like, it's such a round number. I'm 500. You're like, wow, 500. Yeah. And then your knees just explode. It's fine.
Makes it almost sound musical. I think the weirdest thing for me moving out was just like how little your paycheck means. Like because I had part-time jobs before I left home, and that was just like pocket money.
Right.
And then afterward, when I moved out, I was like, oh, this, like, don't be happy until you pay your bills. And then you can look and see how much you have left. And
that's definitely a real thing. But also too, you're like, why do I have to pay so much taxes? This is retarded. And you're just like, oh, well. Yeah.
The taxes thing wouldn't bother me if it was used for more good stuff.
Like actual social services.
Yeah.
Healthcare, yeah.
Like, we have healthcare in Canada. So I was like, even we were joking. They're like, what if something happens? I'm like, bro, duct tape me together and send me back. I'll be fine. I'm like, don't call an ambulance here. I'm like, I don't have that kind of money. Well, I absolutely not.
Oh, gotta love, like, Elyza. I don't know if I brought up to you during Max's show, but I'm epileptic. And there have been times where I've had seizures where someone's called the paramedics, and I have to, as soon as I'm lucid again, do the medical equivalent of like waving a torch at them, being like, away with ye. I don't want to be taken to the hospital.
Yeah.
What?
Like, fuck no.
Yeah. I hereby refuse care. Give me the form to sign and get the fuck out of my life. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What happened with you?
Oh, just it's like medical emergencies, and somebody calls. Like, I have stuff where like I'll pass out, and like someone's been like, oh, call an ambulance. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
$2,000. No.
Like, I'd rather die. Okay, that's fine. I'll walk it off. That's fine. Not even gonna bother.
My buddy broke his hand and drove 15 hours back to Canada to get it fixed.
Totally reasonable.
That's wow. That's impressive.
Atlas uses epilepsy the same way I flash my gold watch makes us cool.
How is that cool? It's like the least cool.
I mean,
pre-existing condition, I think. Right?
I feel like it. I don't know. It gave you a cool scar that you still should definitely be telling people, like, I got this in a gang fight, or it was a duel with pistols and he got me here, but it was weird.
I know it was a duel in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, and this is me being sent to the Shadow Realm.
How do you? So you're such a dork.
My gold watch leaves a skin condition on me too. Do I want to know? Is he allergic to it or something? Dino, can you confirm it? Go in the next room and confirm this.
He's got green bracelets now. He's just like, I don't know.
Okay.
It doesn't happen because it's gold.
Do you guys like any of the like St. Paddy's Day food that goes along with it, or is it just like beer and then whatever else?
What's St. Paddy's Day food?
Like, I was about to say haggis. That's Scottish. Shepherd's pie. Comes up.
It's a tattoo.
It's a tattoo.
Yeah, potatoes in general.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's like, yeah, I guess. But like, I'm fat. I like potatoes all the time. Like, there's
corned beef and cabbage.
There was a TikTok where a guy ordered in a restaurant and was like, you should be aware, sir, there's no potatoes in this order. Did you want to change it? He's like, no, I didn't want potatoes. And they're like, well, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Like, is corned beef? We're supposed to be having corned beef.
Corned beef.
Yeah,
I said corned beef. Corned beef and cabbage. Yeah. I have 3 stars from the knife fight.
Just have to match where I had my moles removed. I mean, exactly. That's exactly. Yeah. Cole's now banging around the kitchen. He's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to make corned beef. Shit. Yeah. So.
Oh my god.
Perfect. It's one of those days. It's listen, I'll be honest with you. Like, we watched what did we watch yesterday? Boondock Saints, and then some romantic comedy, which is weird for 3 drunk men to watch. It was
trying to jerk off, but you're being too loud.
I'm too loud. He couldn't jerk off, so now he's cooking. That's what he just explained to me. So
this is on the internet, Cole. People can hear this.
Oh, if they don't know about it, it's all over the internet already. So
disgusting. I mean, like, that'd be kind of interesting. You're watching, I don't know, Pretty Woman or something, and you're just rocking out to when she's in the bathtub with the earphones, singing along to Kiss or whatever.
Yeah, men need to take care of themselves. You need a little mental health, just.
Or you just got your arms around each other during When Harry Met Sally. I love how you take 10 minutes to order a sandwich.
Hey, just so you know, Kyle just said Cole is corned beef if it were a person.
What, it farts a lot?
I mean, it's been a day. We've had to open the windows a few times. It's reasonable. It's one of those things. This is the thing is like Cole's the oldest of his siblings, and I'm the youngest of my siblings, but I'm older than Cole by like 14 years. So I bully him constantly, and he's like, "Man, fuck you!" And I'm like, "What are you gonna do about it? I'm bigger than you." It's great.
Do you have any siblings, Elyza?
Oh, I'm an only child. Yeah. Thank you for not immediately saying I can tell because you're weird.
Listen, if it means anything, my wife is an only child and she's Asian, so it's like doubly bad. It's fine. You're good. You're good. It's fine. Kyle, why is that accurate? I mean, it's kind of accurate.
I don't really know for sure. It's definitely strange. What was the question I was going to ask? I blanked. Sorry.
That'll happen. You're already drunk. It's St. Patty's Day. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, so Elyza and I met on Max Malecki, previous guest of this show. Yeah. His show Dumb Osters, which was we all got assigned one of the movies that was being possibly awarded, and then you had to do like a little mini sketch. So you had Godzilla -1, right?
Yeah, Godzilla -1, and I decided to come on as Godzilla's publicist, who is accepting the award for him because he has decided not to accept it in person because of the slanderous allegations and false narratives about his behavior in Tokyo, a city he loves and would never harm intentionally.
Obviously, absolutely.
Yeah. He was just trying to get across the city. He's far too famous to take public transit. And in the middle, I had like a WME agent call and say they're dropping him. It was very LA inside baseball shit.
I mean, like Blue Oyster, he picks up a bus and he throws it back down. That's how much he hates public transit.
I mean, he's right. It's supposed to be for the people, but it's not. So he's like, "Oh, no, this is broken. Forget it." No,
not for the irradiated dinosaur. No.
I mean, you have to accommodate all people of all shapes and sizes.
Speaking of how hard it is to be tall, imagine you're a giant, like 10-story tall dinosaur lizard thing.
And have a tail. Also, like people aren't helping out with that. It's just recently I found out that apparently cats' tails move of their own volition. So like if they're like will slowly dodge you when you're like trying to grab their tail, and they're like, I'm like, what if Godzilla's like that and his tail just knocks down your building? It's not his fault. It just does that sometimes, right?
I thought it was like representative of their mood. Like if they're like happy or content, it's up, and then if they're like about to pounce on something, it's down.
Listen, that's what people who only have cats in their life like to do. You can communicate with your cat. No, you can't. You can't. They just want food and to be left the fuck alone. That's what cats do, right? Anyone's just like, no, there's a language. You're like, maybe, but I don't know. It's not. They can't confirm or deny. That's the hard part.
As someone who, like Godzilla, has a big fat ass that will not quit, sometimes it has a mind of its own, and you shouldn't judge us for what our bodies do.
Exactly. I don't know. There's a couple of guys. See, I've been fortunate. When I was 500 pounds, I'm like, I wasn't like a jiggly fat. So guys who were, I would make fun. Like if they ran up to you, like they would stop running, but the rest of their body would keep on jiggling. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to make fun of you for that because mine didn't. So,
Yeah, yours was taught like a pregnant lady.
Absolutely. I like to say that I didn't jiggle. I thunked. Like I would just thunk. Like it was just like, So it makes life a lot more. You're a little more respected. Not a lot of respect, but just enough more than somebody else. It's useful. No, That is a great bit for Godzilla. That was also an incredible movie. I'm so happy it won an award. It won or two? It won 2 awards.
I believe it might have won 2. I think one was maybe sound design.
Yeah.
No, I think Oppenheimer won that one.
Oppenheimer won like everything, which is funny
Yeah.
because that's the one I had was
Oh,
Oppenheimer. That was the one I got assigned. So I borrowed a fedora from one of Max's roommates, and unfortunately it was brown. So I was like, I'm not Dr. Jones for the last time.
You are Dr. Jones, though.
I was like, I got stopped at the door and everything, and then at the end, I said, "Well, at least I won a rap battle against Thanos. Good night, everyone."
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. No, remind me, Max Malecki was the one who came on our show and introduced himself. Said, "What's up, Power Bottoms?" Correct?
Yes, that's him. That's Max Malecki.
Which I will never forget that interaction. Which I'm like, I don't know who starts a conversation like that, but I'm here for it. It's great.
We gotta bring those old guests back. It's been too long.
Absolutely.
Like we had Kayla Esmond back last week, and she was fantastic. And
yeah.
we need to continue on with that. Have you been to her mic before, Elyza?
What's it called again?
It used to be called Eno Vino. Now it's called Nico's in like.
Oh, I've been to that venue. That venue is great. Like amazing acoustics. I love the like basement area. I don't think I've been to a mic there though. I've done a show there.
They have them like on Mondays around like 5. Yeah.
Oh, I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's pretty great. She just got engaged to Josh, who has also been on this show.
Cool.
Yeah. Gotta have him on. Dino's a bullshitter, FYI. I'm king of the clapbacks. Cole, you're in the next room. Like,
bro, yeah, he can't get. It's his house, and I'm close to the door. He can't leave. He could jump at the balcony, but 3 floors up. But I'm like, I don't think so.
I've never been inside his house. I've only been driven around by him, which was kind of surreal.
Oh yeah,
because like I'm one of those people who like I'm usually the one who's driving from like high school onward. It's either like, oh, you're the one with the car, to I'm, Katie doesn't like to drive, you drive, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Atlas, we have a lot in common, I sense. Because I don't drink much, I'm always the designated driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For similar reasons where like your body tries to kill you if you drink too much, or
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'm also 5'3", low tolerance.
Yeah,
that's tolerance than a lot.
It's a thimbleful, and she's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's
my my medication is a blood thinner, so like one.
Yeah.
One only of the grimiest of grimes can stand my That's accurate. That's accurate. It's
I know. If I show up, I'm gonna have to put on like Oliver Twist makeup and just be like, please, may I stay here?
May I have some more?
Oh man. Yeah, no, it's been fun. It's actually been a really fun week that we've had here. We've been cooking, eating, reviewing places. It's been fun, but at the same time, too much drinking. So yeah. I like being older is not like I could drink people under the table, but then like I need 3 days to recover, and I'm just like, oh god, I can't feel my face. It's horrible. That's why
you will come out at an AA meeting in China, but I will still be here collapsed on top of the table for 3 days.
I mean, yeah, that's basically like even so that tonight we have the show which is at the Ohio Selfie Foundation, which I'm like, that's a wild name.
That's not a real fucking thing.
It's
Please tell me that's, oh my god.
I'm telling you, it's called, it's the Ohio it has an Instagram and everything. They shared the event today. So if you're in the Cleveland area, check out the Ohio Selfie Foundation, and I'm going to be there tonight slinging jokes. Who knows?
Too much drinking. You didn't say anything. I'm ready to go again in 2 hours. Cole, you will emaciate your liver. Like,
hey, just to be clear, okay, we both had we split the bottle of vodka, we split the Irish cream. There was whiskey as well. And I was like, I feel great. He's like, I'm going to die. So it's like, there was a point, but I'm like, listen, also too, I'm like, this is a damaged body that is like, oh yeah, we can survive anything. Like I'm the cockroach that'll survive a nuclear explosion, no problem.
What's a liver? Sounds good with onions. Something that's going to get removed along with your gallbladder. That's what it is.
I already don't have a gallbladder. I'm good. See, I'm already ahead of the game, baby.
Adenoids, wisdom teeth, appendix. That's all I have missing.
Bah, you didn't need them. It's fine.
What's your guys' like hangover cure of choice? Assuming you like that has happened before, Elyza.
Yes, I remember I turned like 26 and started to get hangovers and started to get hangovers with a migraine. So I was like, maybe I should just stop drinking.
Yeah.
But for me, just like load up on caffeine and like headache medicine, just like coffee. I like my coffee like diesel fuel regularly, but especially if there's a hangover.
It works, right? Like, but that's no, definitely. What about you, Alice?
For me, it's got to be preemptive. Like while you're still drunk, go get like some gross, like get a huge burger, get Taco Bell, something that like kind of absorbs the booze. Unfortunately, on my birthday, we all went like drinking and did karaoke, and I didn't do that. So my actual hangover, I tried to do it after, and all it does is make you like puke your guts out. So don't do it after.
Oh no.
Do it during.
That's definitely fair. Right,
Dino, you mentioned something to me. It was something about like Gatorade and like make sure to pee first. I can't remember the whole thing.
I have a whole system. Okay, so Cole's like hangover cure of choice, sleeping until 1 p.m. Yeah, that's see, he says that, but like every day he wakes up at noon, so it's not.
Yeah, that's not a hangover cure. That's like avoiding the hangover. That's sleeping through the hangover.
It still works. Okay, so. But we had what for my thing is why you gonna come up with
He's gonna strangle you.
So stop it. Oh, don't breathe on me, dirtbag. So what I do is when you get home, before you pee, because you're gonna have to pee, right? Before you pee, you could drink a Gatorade or even just a bottle of water with 2 aspirin. Then pee, then to bed, and it literally staves off a lot of the hangover. But then the best morning hangover, like if you're already hungover, is greasy spoon. I ate, it was like a breakfast skillet, so tons of potatoes, tons of different meats, onions, eggs, and then I also had biscuits and gravy, which highly recommend as a cure because it just soaks up everything, and also you're like, this seems like it's good for me anyway, so it's fine. It's got all the food groups: biscuits, sausages, eggs. You're good. It's fine. And potatoes. I mean, what more do you want?
The reason you make sure to drink the Gatorade or water plus aspirin before you pee is to like trick your body, right?
Yes, because if you drink it afterward, it's like your body's like, oh, this is the next round of having to pee. Whereas if you drink it before, it's kind of like snuck in on the last little thing. So, because a lot of times when you drink, you'll pee out. Like you're dehydrated because you peed extra because your liver is like, get all of this out of here and just flushing everything. Like, son of a bitch, there's more, right? So if you sneak it in right in the last second, then it's like, oh, okay, we're done. That's all the liquid. And then it's like, why do we feel like we got extra liquid? Like, aha, I got you, liver. It's
I hate when I have a headache and then I'll like chug a bottle of water along with like some Advil and then I'll pee clear. I'm like, no, use the water I'm giving you. That I'm dehydrated. Use it. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Before you pee, y'all don't pee like 5 times a night when y'all drink. Maybe twice, if that. Like,
also,
oh no,
I
might be wake up
diabetes.
at 4 a.m. and like you pee and it's like the beginning of Austin Powers where they like awaken him
from
sleep.
That's also just like, I'm just gonna stay here for a little bit. There's gonna be more. I'll just wait. That's also
evacuation come.
I would never. Okay, people who I said so. Yesterday we had a bunch of desserts, and Cole's like, I need to take a nap. I'm like, hey, you might have diabetes. You need to check that shit out. And then as well, we kept on peeing constantly. I'm like, yeah, that's also one of those things. You might have diabetes. He's like, fuck. So, but as well, like people who try and stand and pee when they're shit-faced, I'm like, yeah, you're wrong. Okay, just sit down, take a break, take your time, enjoy yourself, because honestly, you're gonna wake up, sit and pee because you stood up and peed, and then you're gonna be like, oh my god, and you just don't want that in your life. It's just sit down, take a break, maybe read a book, whatever. Just relax.
Yeah, because when you have to stand up to pee and you're drunk, it's almost like just someone in the background. The ants go marching one by one. Hurrah! You're like swaying back and forth.
100%. And then somebody might like, hey, and you're like, what? Oh no, it's everywhere. Yeah, just don't. Yeah.
I am jealous that if you can stand up and pee, that you can pee like outside though, like on a tree without having to like show your ass. Like I was out with my friend and he just peed on the side of a building while I was like waiting an hour to get into like a bar bathroom.
There's 100% like emergency situations. It is definitely advantageous.
It's advantageous.
There's no question there. But yeah, at the same time, like I'll be honest with you, for me, when you're 500 pounds, you're like, I always sit to pee. I'm not going to play around with that. And now that I'm like I used to be the size of 2 fat people. So now I'm just like one kind of fat guy. So now I'm like trying to learn how to use a urinal again. I'm like, these are a horrible invention because either it's my shoes or it's going to be my pants covered in pee. I'm not interested in that. I'd rather use a stall. But then you're like, Detroit bus station, you're like, oh, I don't have a choice for the stall. That's you don't want to sit there. You
don't want to know.
No, you're like, someone's died there.
Yeah,
Detroit bus station's going on my
Detroit bus station. It's
going on my band name list.
You can get scurvy at the Detroit bus station, bro. It's not even like it's aggressive. Okay.
Have you ever been to? I don't know how much time you've spent in Maryland, but we have the what is it called? The Joe Biden Transit Center.
Whoa.
We have a giant rest stop named after Joe Biden, and the bathrooms there are some of the worst I've seen in my life.
Oh my god! Is that after he became president or when he was like?
I think he was VP when it got named.
Okay, all right.
That's honestly like that's one of those things where I'm like, if it's a road stop that it's like there aren't any like restaurants or working people, you're like, don't go there, man. That's how you get the clap. Like there's that's like there's it was a thing that they did for a while where they still are expanding. It was because there's one big highway that goes all the way across Canada and it's littered with a branded like bunch of restaurants, sitting areas. It's open 24 hours, great bathrooms, and there are people constantly in there cleaning. And you're like, thank you. And then you see the dodgy one, and there's just truckers and like people walking around. You're like, where did you come from? The forest? It's very confusing. You're like, yeah, don't be there.
Where'd you come from, Mississippi?
I had Tim Hortons twice in my life when I was in Quebec, and I think about it on like a weekly basis.
Why?
It's superior.
And that wasn't even like the top tier Tim Hortons. I'll tell you that because so back in the day, Tim Hortons was like they would bake everything there. So it was open 24 hours because you know how bakers are. They're like, what is it? 3 o'clock in the morning? I should get started baking. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Right.
I mean, Katie used to be a baker. Yeah. That was like a thing where you would wake up so that the fresh baked stuff came out as people were coming in before work.
Because everybody else is like, I'm not getting up at 4 to make my own bread. I'm going to wake up at 9 and buy bread off you. It's totally fair. So back then, like that was like the top tier, the best donuts you could find. And like, then they started making sandwiches and you're like, holy shit, this is crazy. And then it all went to shit. They're like, we don't need bakers anymore. They're like, everyone needs bakers. Okay. You were lying. You lied to us. You sons of bitches. It's still great, but at the same time, like, this is why I'm old. This is how you know I'm old. I'm like, back in the
only thing we don't need anymore is the candlestick maker. Butcher and baker, we're always going to need those.
100%. I was a baker for a bagel shop. Worst job ever. I mean, I feel like that was mutual because I mentioned it this morning. I'm like, hey, there's a bagel place. Like, I can't go back there. They don't like me. I work there. It's not. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. Like,
also, I need to. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I need to correct myself. The Joe Biden place is in Delaware, which makes sense, and it's the Joe Biden Welcome Center. Is what it's called.
Welcome to Delaware.
I was too busy listening to my family fighting.
It's okay. I'm still dealing with Cole here. It's fine. Yeah, that's totally
okay.
reasonable.
Kyle was the butcher. Cole was the baker. Dino, you need to become a candlestick maker so we can make this happen.
I mean, I already kind of look like a priest. Let's be honest. Like if I had a little collar, people would be like, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
When you were bringing up the Tim Hortons thing about like how their stuff used to be good, I thought you were about to like rip into like Quebec.
Well, Quebec is also
as a
bunch of
like
weirdos.
Their Tim Hortons, but not Tim Hortons in general. Okay, all right.
No. Well, that's like it. Yeah, Quebec is like Quebec, the one good thing is because there's a lot of French culture. Not really French. They're like, we speak French. You're like, you speak some sort of pig French. It's not words. It's just sounds. It's
like French with a New York accent. Yeah.
Not even a Buffalo accent. Not even like New York. Like it's just.
It's like It's kind of like how Napoleon got made fun of for he would speak French in like an Italian accent, kind of the Corsican accent,
which is hilarious, right?
But yeah, Quebec is the like. I remember taking French in college, and the professor was like, "So there's like France French and there's Quebec French. We're not touching Quebec French. It's
not French.
Like
it's just not French. That's like,
shout out Professor Truby."
It's the same thing. Like you start to realize, like last year when I was in Mexico, like they were telling me how different countries will have different accents, and you're like, if you hear someone from Spain speak Spanish, you're like, what the hell is wrong with this person? But then like you hear it from like it's every place has its like little flavor, but it's very Spain Spanish. You're just like, why does everything have an F in it? I don't understand. You're like, that's not how.
Argentinian Spanish too. It's like,
is it really?
Yeah, my Spanish isn't great at all, but like I only learned Spanish from people from like Puerto Rico or Mexico, so I'm like, I have no idea what anyone with the Castellano.
Doesn't Argentinian Spanish have like some German in it too, because of all the Nazis that fled from?
Jawohl.
Not all the Germans in Argentina were Nazis, but some of them.
I mean, like they had relatives. Okay.
Yeah, it's like there's a reason they all came there. They were like, we'll be accepted in the hills. Yeah. Some of them didn't even learn Spanish.
There's
like communities where they just speak German.
Yeah. Which you're like I kind of get it, because like in Toronto, you're like, we have a Greek town, and like a lot of people, the road signs will have English and then Greek as well. So I'm like, I understand to a degree, but then they're like, oh, we still hold flags up, and you're like, that might be too far. Maybe that's Bro, Cole's been trying to convince me he speaks Spanish the entire time I've been here. I'm like, bro, you know some Spanish words. He's like, I can basically speak Spanish. And I'm like, nope, that's not.
He's walking around in the kitchen going like, "Donde está la biblioteca?" Krav Maga.
He doesn't have books. Are you kidding me? It's fine. It's one of those things. He's literally listening right behind me.
I know he's gonna come up and strangle you at the end of the episode.
I'd like to see him try with his baby hands. It's fine.
Just have a Fight Club episode.
I mean, I was talking to that with Kyle. I'm like, we should start a fight club. I think people are at a point where they're like, I could use a fight club. That's fine. Yeah, it's totally reasonable. Right? It's totally. I feel like it would be Atlas who would be like the priest guy, where you like you have to push him, and then he's like, I've waited my whole life to punch someone in the face. Like, I get it.
No, I'm just like, I'm the opposite of Dino. I'm like all squish. It's you met me at the wedding. You know what I'm like.
Person. You were you know what? You were not like you were. I thought you were in good shape. Like you looked like you had lost weight and everything. Why'd you throw something at me, you dirty bitch? So just throw. It looked like the top of a microphone. Just like, where did you even find that? So like when I saw him, like, so I'm like an inch and a half taller than Atlas and with Cole, but at the same time I'm like a solid like 6 to 8 inches wider. Like I have shoulders like a full monster. And so I saw Atlas for the first time. I'm like, you're so little. He's like, we're almost the same height. I'm like, come on. He's like, yeah.
I'm not used to people being broader than me usually. Like, I'm like a big dude, and like just Dino is squarer than me. Like,
it is honestly like at 500 pounds, I'm like, I've doubled as a door many times where I just stand there and don't let people in, and they're like, could we go around? No, you can't. You know why? Don't want to move. That's it. Yeah. Kyle says he's down to start a fight club. Hard to get members when we can't talk about it. I mean, that's a good point. The most recent episode of Hammer Cheese would determine us to be the same height. You were wearing shoes, sir. You were wearing shoes the whole time. I was barefoot. It's absolutely ridiculous. Kyle.
Cole and I are like, we look vaguely the same.
Massive heads, both of them.
Yeah,
ridiculously large heads.
Same age. We could we're like the like bizarro versions of each other, I think.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Oh my god. I
One of
guess
those things.
a good way to end this episode, being that it was about St. Paddy's Day for the bulk of it, was what's a tradition you would like to introduce to St. Paddy's Day that doesn't exist yet?
Lederhosen, like something really wonky. I feel like it would be like everyone has to dress in a very culturally specific way. I think it will work. It'll work. Or
could have the same dad as possible.
Yeah, could also have the same dad. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like an outfit for St. Paddy's Day would be hilarious where everybody has to wear it.
Yeah, because like aside from that, it's just like a color, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just green this or green that.
Like a leprechaun outfit.
Definitely. At least, or a top hat. I feel like top hats have to be worn. And like none of those stuffy ones where it's like a pillow. You're like, no. It's got to be hard and jagged even, okay? That's the kind of hat I want. And like it's got to be like a proper leprechaun one where like goes wider on the top like the Mad Hatter. I'm like, yeah, that's the hat. Yeah.
You know what I'm realizing is that the holidays that we get off work for are the ones that are more kid friendly, right?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, some Halloween, it varies, right? But
yeah,
there should be something more kid friendly for St. Paddy's Day besides like a little thing on the bulletin board in school and you got to wear green. Like there's something,
But also too, like the aggravation of St. Paddy's Day being on a Sunday, you're like, that's mean. How dare you? Because Monday is gonna be rough. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna want to drive. They're just gonna be like, just don't honk your horn. Just don't.
But St. Paddy's Day is on the Lord's Day. It's you got to make it happen.
Yeah. One of my elementary school teachers used to put green food coloring in the toilet and then have us all go in there. And she was like, look, the leprechaun Pete.
Oh my God. What the hell?
At the time, you're a kid, you're like, okay, this is the leprechaun went potty. It snuck in here. It left some gold coins. It went potty. And then as an adult, you're like, why the fuck did you think that was funny?
Also true. Like,
what grade was this?
Like third grade, maybe.
Third grade?
Second or third.
Yeah. I feel like she would drop gold coins in there, be like, he left gold coins for one kid who's like,
why don't you fish it out?
Yeah, I'll fish it out, no problem.
The one with the most behavioral demerits.
100%. You're like, you want to pass, get them gold coins. Maybe they're chocolate. And he's like, no, they've already been in the toilet. Yeah, I feel like that's a real thing.
Honestly, like if they did like something akin to like an Easter egg hunt, but
totally
St. Paddy's, I feel like if you could make that more of a thing, along with the adult stuff with the drinking and dyeing the East River green or whatever, you could get it to be like a nationally observed holiday that we get off of work.
I mean, less work just makes sense to me in general. Okay?
Yeah.
The idea, the fact that we have only 2 days of vacation, like 2 days per weekend, I'm like, that should be we should have a 5-day weekend, 2-day work week. That's it.
Bernie Sanders just put a bill in for a 4-day work week without loss of pay. So, which would be pretty cool. Well, not that I don't know if it's going to pass, but it seems like the type of thing where you just keep trying it until it works.
Yeah. Look, I like Bernie Sanders, but he doesn't win. And it's like, come on, he deserves a win at this point. Everyone knows he's saying the good shit. It's it's quite aggravating, but I hope he gets drunk today for St. Paddy's Day. He seems like the type. He deserves it.
I am once again asking you to pass the Irish cream. Bernie Sanders should have won. Yeah, he should have. And then it's just like this while he's waiting for it.
Bro. I love that the lady who made those mittens is now wealthy because everyone wanted those mittens. I'm like, good. That's the representation we need. Not lobbyists, mitten makers. That's what we need. More mitten makers.
In the woods in Vermont.
I mean, like, if anywhere, that's where you get good mittens, right? It's totally reasonable.
Cool.
So to our listeners / viewers, leave in the comment section below, or there's like a little comment thing on your podcast app of choice. What did you think of the episode? But more, I want to know, what's your favorite thing to do for St. Paddy's Day down there? Leave a like, share with your friends, all that good stuff. Elyza, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, of course. Happy St. Paddy's Day. Happy if you get drunk, Atlas, try not to think too far outside the bun with that Taco Bell. Yeah, this was super fun. Thank you.
Where can people find and follow you and all that good stuff?
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok before it gets banned, at Possum Girl, POSSUM Girl, or just search my name, Elyza Halpern. That's ELYZAHALPERN. I'm also on Instagram. You can also search my name, or I'm at PossumGirl_IG. And then I'm on Twitter as well. Just search my name at Elyza with a Y, WHY. Yeah. Follow me all the places.
Why the Possum Girl, out of curiosity?
So my first viral video was me telling a story about how I kept a possum in my parents' basement for many weeks as a child. Which is true. That's some real only child shit.
I feel like we should have started with
the
that.
wild rodent.
Yeah,
can you send me a link to that and I'll put it in the description and then people can go check it out because that sounds amazing. You can find us at Generation Dan, all the places that you do, Insta, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. Find me at Atlas Novak in all those same places. My YouTube channel is The Epileptic Comic. Or you can follow my other podcast, Nexus at Night, which is about a trading card game called Card Fight Vanguard. If you're not interested, I completely understand. Dino?
I'm at Dino the Genetic Marvel. You can see it right here. That's what I go by everywhere because I'm only mildly creative, not extensively. So it's very simple. One-stop shop for everything. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, do all the things. And I'm documenting all the fat guy food I'm trying in Cleveland. So come check it out. And I'm pretending to not be as fat. Quite success. Yeah.
One more thing. The off-screen nuisance the entire time, Cole Clayton.
Oh,
he and I have a new podcast. There he is. He and I have a new podcast called Last Minute History, which is talking about historical events the way someone would when they procrastinated on a history report.
Yep.
So for people watching this stream, tomorrow we'll be streaming about the Bronze Age collapse. So,
and also on Tuesdays, maybe not this Tuesday, but definitely next Tuesday, we have a cooking show, Cole and I. It's called Hammered and Cheese. And it's basically we get shit-faced while cooking, which makes it a lot more feasible for most of us. So I feel like that's a win. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.